How's it going? First weekend of the new season. An exciting time. I think the car's in pretty good shape, all things considered. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to take some time to check in with you now that we've had the official FP2 debrief. Just wanted to grab a few minutes with you to go over anything. The strategy team has also taken the data from the practice and they've given us kind of their first stab at race strategy. So at least wanted you to see that, and obviously that'll evolve as the weekend progresses. Yeah. Well, a couple practical things before we dive in. Just wanted to remind you on the schedule so it's front and center in your mind. We have FB3, our third practice session, tomorrow at 12:30. Qualifying will be at 1600 hours on Saturday, and then the race starts at 1500 on Sunday. Yeah, and then of course tomorrow night, 5 p.m., there is the sponsor cocktail hour. You know, the team needs you to be there. My general advice to drivers is to not get completely smashed at that event, since you have to qualify the next day. Otherwise, smile, look cute, be charming, the usual. Okay, so I do want to get into some discussion of the practice and strategery, but the social media director did want to grab a few minutes with you here before we do that. I think he's headed this way. Have you been practicing the moves for the team dance that we're doing for TikTok? I've been trying, but I do not feel good about it. Well, he's probably just going to ask about that. Alright, I'm going to leave you with him, and I'll be back in a few minutes to talk more about the car and our weekend, okay? Okay, right back. Alright, my friend, how are we doing? Not good. What do you mean? Yeah, he did have like way better times in practice than you, didn't he? Yeah, it's tough when your teammate is going so much faster. We'll of course try to downplay that in our communications, testing and all that. Well, here, do this. Put your arms in the air. Yeah, put them up. There we go, right? Why put your arms up in the air? Because it is impossible not to feel good, not to smile when you have your arms in the air, right? Doesn't that feel so much better? Here's why I don't feel good. Your low levels of engagement on social media. This is incredibly important for the team, that we're just not seeing numbers out of you. Your teammate, Jean-Robert Demitas, is absolutely crushing it out there. Yeah. Here, let me show you. I have a chart here. The top line is Jean-Robert, and the low bottom line there is you. You know, he's doing the dances, he's out at the clubs, he's looking like he's having a great time, and it is paying off, right? Likes, shares, you know, that's what we want to see. I understand that you've gotten into wood burning, and that's a cool hobby, but maybe it's not what we really want to be putting forward to help the team. I'm just saying that planned engagement is better than showing your authentic self. Yeah. You know, it's not that authentic self isn't cool. If you're in yoga class or something, just don't show it to anyone. You just want to focus on driving. I get that, but look, you want to win. And the way you win is to get in a fast car. And to do that, you need sponsorship money. And what sponsors want is engagement, value for the brand. You have to be able to drive that. You gotta bring in that money. Money, please. Right? Racing is like anything else. You have to be rich to succeed. Here. Like, look at what Jean-Robert is doing. Right? He's doing these cool dances. People are excited. Here, check this out. Isn't that awesome? Right? He's feeling it. You know? He's doing the jazz hands. He's driving. Right? That's super trending right now. You gotta do it, right? It's the zeitgeist. He's zeitgeisting. You need to be zeitgeisting. Bussin', not sussin', am I right? Alright, so let's work on it. Of course, we have the team dance coming up. This is gonna be huge. Everyone loves the mashed potato. It's gonna be so cool to have everyone doing the dance. It's gonna drive great engagement for us. And that's gonna benefit the team, right? So, let's make sure you're a team player. Alright? You're helping us. We're gonna help you. Got a couple things coming up here. Gonna try to help boost your image, get you out there a little bit more. First, getting you entered in this deep fake AI singer competition. It like incorporates you into 80s cartoons. It's like mind blowing, but everyone is gonna be watching that thing. So super good for your visibility. The other thing is we're working with our sponsors. I'm gonna try to create a signature cocktail for you. Something we can put out there on social media, can get into physical spaces. Right now the front runner uses an electrolyte water that is paired with Goldschlager. Feel those flakes of gold really speak to your blinginess. And we're calling it the Gator and Gold. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a huge hit. Alright, this is all stuff that's gonna be good for your brand, good for your image, okay? Oh, shoot. Here, I gotta respond to this. Hang on just a moment here. super important. Just gotta deal with this. Crypto, so volatile, you know? Okay. Alright. So, hey, we're gonna bring up those numbers. We're gonna work together to do it. You work on those dance moves. Alright? Team dance. It's gonna be huge. Alright. Get back to your driving, racing stuff now. Alright. Till the next time. That was longer than I expected. Did you survive? Yeah, I hate the social media stuff too. It's ruining the sport. I miss the days when a driver boosted his image by getting in the news for taking part in a drunken brawl with the other drivers during the race. Yeah. Well, yeah, I know they were trying to get the Rolex sponsorship, but I think Jean Robert said some things that might have damaged our ability to partner with that brand. I know, it's too bad. I was hoping for it too. Honestly, though, I've really been liking this watch. I think they'd make a great sponsor. Not sponsored. Yeah, well, do what we can to get money where we can, but, the social media is part of the game, but don't let it distract you too much. At the end of the day, you get results out on the track. To stay focused on our process, to keep developing the car, and make sure we're doing everything we can to place well, okay? So with a couple practice sessions under your belt, how are you feeling about the car? Okay. Well, you've had great input so far, so keep it coming. So let's see a couple things here. With free practice too, we were able to get data on the whole field finally. Some average numbers for lap times across the field. The strategy team has input all that and done a first pass at what we think will be race strategy. This can change, but based on just the overall lap times that we're seeing, we're expecting targets of P6 and P7. I know, you want to be up at the front. We're going to be knocking on the door. We'll see how things play out, but based on the data we have, that's where we're looking. If you take victory, we'll celebrate it. We're also going to celebrate P6 or P7. That'll be a realistic target for us in this race, okay? Yeah. So there'll be a couple different, bring this up here, a couple different strategy options, but we think a two-stop is going to be the dominant strategy and will be our primary strategy unless new information comes in. Okay? Well, when it comes to calls like this, we really just have to crunch the numbers and go with what we see. But what I'm hearing from you is that the expected two-stop doesn't really match your testicular verve, that the timid approach may not be what the Headshot energy drink sponsor is looking for. It's a fair point. We want to keep our sponsors happy. Don't want to send the wrong message, but like I said, we also want to maximize what we can do with our car on the track. But I will have a chat with the strategy team, double check all the numbers. We'll try to take into account if we might be able to pull off something different, but I would expect the two-stop based on what we have seen so far. Yeah, the lap times in FP2 are public, so I know people saw your teammate ahead of you on that leaderboard. Well, the key thing is you were running different tire compounds. So that's going to produce different lap times. People don't always recognize that, but we'll do our best to make that clear, and I'll talk to him to make sure that messaging is what it needs to be. I will say that you were managing your tires very well, and to continue with that will be important in the race. Tire deg is a little higher than what we'd want, but it's not too bad, and I don't think it's too far off what others are experiencing. But yeah, you're running different tire tests. We have a regimented practice scheme that we operate against so we can get the info we need for the race. You know, if people don't understand that, then I think qualifying will make that clear, okay? So you do you, okay? Yeah. So, maybe partly cloudy for the race, should be no rain, maybe slightly colder temperatures. Just keep that in mind. We'll keep an eye on the weather as the weekend progresses. Well, historically, about a 50% chance of a safety car and like 67% chance for a virtual safety car, so it's not unlikely. Well, we could go risky and plan for a safety car, right? Potentially higher payoff, but then again, we don't know what our competition is doing. The way we think about this is really an expected value. Do we plan for what is most likely to happen? Maybe it gives us a more standard outcome, and we're kind of stuck in that P6, P7 slot. We try to plan for something more unexpected, the much higher payout, but much higher downside as well, and roll the dice on that. We try to play consistent. We try to lean into the process rather than chasing the result. But we're going to be open to serendipity, for sure. So we'll keep it in mind. It's just a first pass at our strategy, right? Where you qualify and things like that are going to have an impact. Yeah, so it's a maximization on our strengths while avoiding big risks. Potentially a way to look at life, too, depending on how you want to run it. I know you like to hang it out over the edge. Yeah. One quick note, just procedural. Remember, you're coming into the pit lane basically flat out at this track. So make sure that you're able to get slowed down and hit that speed limit and avoid penalties. Okay? You know the deal there. Okay. How are you feeling overall? Kind of where's your head at? Okay. Yeah. This is the weekend to just dial it in. Focus on what you have to do. Don't get caught up with what everyone else is doing. We have to plan for our car, our speed, our tire degradation. Those are going to be different team to team. You're not going to be able to win the championship this first weekend, so focus on getting a result. Stay inside of yourself, focused on your game, I'm going to partner with you to make sure we get the most out of the car. Do the basics. Hit your braking zones. Keep mistakes reined in. Let's get a good result to start the season, and we can build from there, okay? And as always, let me know what I can do to support you in this. I'm going to do everything I can to minimize the outside influences so we can focus on business at the track, okay? Alright, I think we've got a good plan for the practice session tomorrow. Yeah. Pretty good in terms of tire allocations that we have. So yeah. Alright, well, let's go out there tomorrow, focus on our testing plan, and we're going to be in a great position for qualifying on Saturday, okay? Alright, I believe in you. Alright, so go take it easy, and we'll pick back up tomorrow, alright?